Welcome back. Game Changing Podcast, episode 4 or 5, maybe. I'm not quite sure, to be honest. Sorry, I've been out a long time. I know I've taken like a 3 or 4 month hiatus and been busy with stuff. COVID's still going on. We got some family stuff, but I'm back, and we're gonna be every week. We got new episodes every week. We're changing up the podcast a little bit, so we're gonna start. We're gonna diversify a little bit. It used to be mainly it's been all sports. Now we're going to throw in some pop culture, some business, some world news. And my favorite part, at the very end of each segment of each podcast, we're going to have a quick little life hack. It's going to be your weekly life hack that can help you get through this tough time right now. But let's get started, right into it. Just an FYI as well, we're going to have some huge guests coming on. Some NCAA experts, as well as some Masters experts for you golf fans out there, me, myself included. With the Masters coming up, we're going to pick those, the NCAA, when the bracket comes out. We're going to look heavily into that. We're going to have a huge episode on that, so be prepared for that. But let's start it off. New segment, it's called Locks of the Week. Each week, I'm going to give you 3 betting locks. You can take it to the bank. If you want to make money, you're putting money on these teams. And these aren't, there's some obvious locks here, but there's some others that you just never know something. Number 1, West Virginia over TCU. I don't know how many of y'all watched the game last night, but West Virginia looked incredible against Baylor. I know they lost what they should have won, though. They look great. They're going to beat a team like TCU. My new favorite player on West Virginia, I'm not really a big West Virginia fan, but McNeil, like number 22, the dude shot lights out here. I gotta find his name. Sorry, it's driving me crazy here. West Virginia. Sean McNeil, number 22. An absolute baller. Him, Deuce McBride, they're gonna take this team far. You just wait and see. Just keep watching them. You got Huggins, he's a good coach. So just keep watching this. Watch this team. Lock number 2 of the week, Alabama over Georgia. Bama has played some very close games lately. Although their game against Vandy last night wasn't exactly close. No, LSU played Vandy. Bama played, I'm not exactly sure, but I know their game last night wasn't super close. But they have played some close games against some not very good teams. And Georgia's not very good. But I do think that Bama will get this done and help them, get in. They're going to get a number 1 seed in the SEC tournament, and if they win that, they could very likely be a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. So watch out for that Bama team. Number 3, for you NBA lovers out there, we got some Bucks over Grizzlies. I'm pretty sure that's tomorrow night. So these are from betting experts, some of my friends. Check out those 3 games. Those are your breadwinners right there. And my bold pick of the week, we're also doing bold picks of the week. The bold pick of the week is Michigan State over Michigan. I watched basically the whole West Virginia-Michigan game, and I wasn't really impressed with Michigan. Michigan State is hot right now, so I think you need to watch for that game. I'm not exactly sure what the money line or spread is on that, but I think that could be a big winner. All right, in other sports news, J.J. Watt signs with the Cardinals. 2-year, $31 million deal. In my opinion, majorly overpaid. He's old. He's not that good anymore. He's out of his prime. And I know he's a great guy, and I think he's a great guy to have on your team. He's a good leader. He's good for cities. We saw in Houston when they were struggling with either, the hurricanes, COVID, he helps. He's great for the city. Fans love him. He's a great guy. Don't get me wrong. But $31 million, I'm not sure he's worth that much. Also, Arizona. My question is, why do you all think he went there? Why? Please drop down in the comments below. Why do you think he went there? For me, I couldn't really figure it out besides the fact that he wanted to stay in warm weather. Because when he put out there were rumors that he was either going to Green Bay, Cleveland, or Buffalo. And none of those are warm. That was on the whole Peloton scam thing. For you all that don't know, there was a fake J.J. Watt Peloton, the bike company, the bike that you ride and stuff, not a real bike, stationary bike, workout bike. There was a fake JJ Watt bio on there that said Super Bowl 56, ... Green Bay, ... Cleveland, ... Buffalo. So, and they had like 17,000 followers. It faked a bunch of people out. I don't know if it was real followers or not, but so a lot of people thought he was narrowing it down to those three. Well, it turns out, no, it was from Cardinals. And to me, it's like, that's a tough division. You got the 49ers, you got the Rams, Seahawks. That's a tough division to get out of. And as old as I just don't get the move. I don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl. Kyler Murray's great and all, and maybe he loves DeAndre Hopkins. I'm sure they're close, and maybe that's why I went there. But for me, that wouldn't have been my first choice. I probably would have gone to Green Bay if I was in JJ Watt's shoes. But that's why he's making the money, and I'm sitting here talking to y'all. Other news, golf fans, the Arnold Palmer Invitational is this week. Rest in peace, Arnold Palmer. My pick, Rory McIlroy. He's won here before. He's played well here, and I think he'll get it done again this year. But what I really want to talk about more is Bryson DeChambeau. I don't know how many of you all follow, practice rounds or golf on Instagram or anything like that. But there are videos surfacing. Hole number 6, I see, is a par 5. It's 550 yards, but it's a huge dog leg. So, and there's water in the middle. You can cut the corner, and it's only about a 340, 350 carry to the green. And there were videos of Bryson hitting driver trying to get on the green. And he said he couldn't do it today because it was into the wind, but he said he was very close. So just imagine you're sitting in your couch, laying back, watching golf on Saturday, Sunday, and you see a guy drive a par 5. Just everybody soak that in for a second. That would be insane, crazy. I mean, the balls he would have to pull that shot off. And he said, he put out a statement, was like, I think he was on Twitter. He was saying, I couldn't get there today, but, if the conditions are right, you never know. If it's downwind, it was into the wind today. If it was downwind, if it's downwind, say it's playing 310, he's got that in the bag easily. I don't understand why other guys haven't done that. But it's freaky what he's doing to the game. And I know a lot of people don't like it. And also a lot of people love it. I'm kind of in the middle because I really don't think it's going to work out for him. I know he won the U.S. Open and that was great and all. But being a golfer myself, you have to hit fairways. If you're not a good wedge player, then hitting bombs every hole doesn't really help you. So, we'll see. We'll see how it works. He's not a good chipper. We know that. Of course, you shouldn't miss a green when you hit it 350, 360 every time and you have a wedge in every hole. Sorry. So I think it'll just be interesting to see in the long run how this is going to work. Health-wise. It's very interesting to see health. When you think about Tiger, he set a new bar distance-wise. Of course, there was John Daly before, but he just weighed a ton. Tiger was the first to really fit his body around hitting it far. He worked out, he may have been on roids. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. There's just rumors are rumors. And Bryson's kind of doing the same. Bryson's changing the game working out-wise. Tiger was the first one to work out, so anything he was doing was different from the guys before him. Bryson's not the first one to work out, but what he's doing, the way he's working out is different from everybody else. He's gaining weight rapidly. He gained, 40 pounds in under 6 months? Like, people don't do that, especially when you're an athlete. Like, an athlete in golf. In football, fine. Golf, that's never been done before. So, it'll just be very interesting to see where all he goes from here. In other news, NCAA, tournaments coming up. All the conference tournaments are this upcoming weekend. I just wanted to put out my five, my top five. Gonzaga, number one, obviously. I think they are by far, head and shoulders, the best team in the nation. They shoot the lights out. Corey Kispert, he's confident. He's the best shooter in college basketball. Maybe not. He may be not as good as that Sean McNeil kid at West Virginia, but that kid tore it up last night. Anyways, and they got Jalen Suggs. They got a ton of talent. They're coached well. They've been knocking on the door for a long time now, and I think this may be the year that they finally push through. They've had struggle. They've struggled making it past Sweet 16, Elite 8, if they've even made it there. But I think this year it's different. This year they have talented guys. I think before they had good coaching, they passed the ball well, they had the fundamentals down. But nowadays, you still got to have talent. I think this year they have talent and more. Number two, I'm going to go with Baylor. Although Baylor against West Virginia didn't look great, they still look good. They are an impressive basketball team. They know what they're doing. They're coached well. They have that one big guy down low. They shoot well. A lot of talent, a lot of guard play, a lot of one-on-one guard play, but they're solid. 3, Illinois. I don't know if y'all watched the game last night, but it was Illinois-Michigan. Illinois thumped, and I mean thumped, Michigan. Juwan Howard didn't know what to do with his boys. That was the first time I had seen Illinois play all year. I've seen the resume. They're obviously a good team. They looked great last night. 4, I'm having trouble with. 4, it's either West Virginia or Michigan. I'm going to go with Michigan just because of how well they've played all year. They've lost 2 games, I think. They clapped Ohio State. They've won some big games. I like Juwan Howard. I think he's a great coach. They've got a lot of talent. I guess 5 that leaves West Virginia. I think this West Virginia team is good. I think they're scary. I think those 5 teams are well above the rest, and it'll be interesting to see how they do coming down the stretch. We're gonna take a quick break. New segment coming right up. It's called Money Moves. Like I said, we're changing the podcast up, but we're expanding our horizon. This Money Moves. Stick around. All right. Welcome to this week's segment of Money Moves. So this week we're going to talk about, and I'm sure a lot of y'all have heard, launching tomorrow, so we have to hit on it. Buzz. What is Buzz? Buzz is an ETF that is only filled with names, that with a market values of at least $5 billion. Twitter was one of the biggest names. And Buzz has an algorithm that determines 75 top stocks each month. And each month this algorithm runs again, and each month changes. Each month this 75 changes, or it may not, depending on what the algorithm thinks. So far in the past, I think 4 years or so, 5 years, Buzz has outperformed the S&P 500 by about 50%. And the real attraction of Buzz, and that is what is going to get a lot of people in, is Dave Portnoy, the founder and president of Barstool Sports, who is huge in the stock market. He's a day trader. He has, I think it's Davey Day Trader, which is a show that he has where he day trades. He is sponsoring to help launch this ETF. What Buzz is not, and I think it's important to realize, Buzz is not a recreation of Wall Street Bets, the Reddit Wall Street Bets group. That phenomenon with GameStop and all that happened there. This is not like that. Buzz is a long-term, a long-term grower. Like I said, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 40% or so, which is crazy. Um, with Dave behind it, with it launching tomorrow, with Dave behind it, it's going to shoot through the roof. The first 48 hours or so. This tomorrow's Thursday, so Thursday, Friday. I think if you can get in early, I think you do. This is money move segment. This is a big time money move. I think you can make a lot of money. And if you want to get out early, that's fine. Make a quick buck, pay a few taxes, that's fine. But I think this is a long-term winner. I think Buzz, the way it's set up, this algorithm seems to know what it's talking about if it's outperformed the S&P 500, by 40% or so. And with Portnoy behind it, that's only going to make it better. He's a popular man, and his influence on media and people can really change the stock's value. And with this being an ETF, it's the Van Eck Vector Social Sentiment ETF under the ticker BUZZ. I apologize if I pronounced anything wrong there, but BUZZ, the money move of the week is BUZZ. In other news, stock market in America had a tough day today. The Dow down 0.39%, NASDAQ down 2.7%, and the S&P 500 down another 1.31%. It's been a rough week. I just think we're still regrowing, We're regrowing. We had the hit. We had all the stuff, a couple weeks ago. The stock market was caught up in all the GameStop, the Reddit stuff, So I think we're regrowing, we're building, we're going to get back up. So Buzz, remember it, lock it in tomorrow morning. I'm not exactly sure what time it launches. They don't all launch, right when the market opens. So look that up, look into Buzz. I'm telling you, it's a money move. What's up next is a new segment. Like I said, we're expanding. It's a world news segment. It's called Above or Below the Equator. Depending on the day, depending on the news, we will either be talking about above or below the equator's biggest headlines. From that. Today on Above or Below the Equator, we will be above the equator, talking about world news above the equator, more specifically the United States today. Texas, we're going to start there. Texas opens up, no more mask mandate. They're one of the first states to do it. But what was more interesting to me was Target, Kroger, Macy's, among some stores that said, no, we're not opening up. You're still going to have to wear a mask when you walk in here. I think it'll be interesting because, how are residents going to feel, if their state's totally opened up, but they still have to wear a mask in the store, big department stores like that, Kroger, it won't feel like it's really opened up. So I think that dynamic may be a little weird. Number two, also big news, President Biden, promised vaccines for all United States adults by the end of May. Whether they will all get vaccines, we don't know. But there will be enough for all U.S. adults by the end of May. I think we need, scientists are saying, what I've heard, 70-75% of all, U.S. adults need to be vaccinated before we can stop wearing masks and stuff like that. So I think, by the end of May, I think we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I think we're almost there. We can just hang in there for just a little bit longer. I think we're coming to the end of this. So that is above or below the equator. Today we were above. Next week we will more than likely be below, just depending on what some news was. There was also, for a quick below the equator, there was some big COVID crisis in Brazil that you need to check out. All right, and like I said, my favorite part, episode, segment, whatever you want to call it, of this new game-changing podcast format that we've gone to, me and my team have decided to go to, is the weekly life hack. Now this is going to change your life. If you don't listen to the rest of the podcast, but you listen to this, I guarantee your life will be better. This week, all right, How many of you have been at home or been in the car or at work and you're eating chips, potato chips, whatever it may be, but it has to be chips, whatever kind of chips you want to call it. And you go to touch your phone and your hands are all greasy, your phone gets greasy, and then you start like slipping and either, you type something wrong, you plug something in wrong, maybe you send a check the wrong way. Drastic things have happened because of greasy fingers. The life hack for this week is to always have chopsticks when eating chips. I came across this earlier today. Chopsticks, when used properly, if the chip is right here, you just slide it in. Don't push too hard because then you'll crack the chip. But you just slide it in and you eat it. It's different than a fork. You can't use a fork because obviously with a fork, you're going to break the chip. But chopsticks, you can just visualize going into like a bag. They're always lying up. The chips are like this, right? You just get chopsticks, boom, 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 chopsticks, boom. So yes, that is what you need to take away from this episode. The next time you're worried about greasy fingers, greasy hands, find some chopsticks. Maybe if you get Asian carryout and they throw if you don't have chopsticks laying around, keep the chopsticks next time. Keep the chopsticks. Because these chopsticks are going to save you from making a bad mistake that really isn't your fault on your phone. But this can change all that. All right, thank you so much for tuning in for this week's episode of the Game Changing Podcast. We'll be back next week.